Get down tonight, Daddy. It's time for Reality Gays. We're here to cover another reality show. And while the video plays, just sit back and let go. Now, you may be thinking, where'd the theme song go? We made this little switch because copyright's a bitch. We got 90 Day, Norman Wives, Lalo, and more. And now you can watch us, you whore. You like to watch. You dirty slut. Yeah, you know. Like it, don't you? A little too much. Ooh, moist. RG on YouTube, y'all. I want to show my creamy shoulders. And maybe my nipple. Poodle, no! All right, sissies, we're here. We know you're ready to talk about movie night, and so are we. And by we, I mean me and not Poodle, because he's getting fucked in Mykonos right now, probably in a Grecian gangbang. But today, I have a special guest. Please welcome to the show from the L is for Losers pod, Jessica Jardine.
Oh my God.
Doesn't a Grecian gangbang sound so more elevated than a regular gangbang?
Oh
sounds
my
classy.
God. It sounds classy. It sounds historic. It sounds like the foundations of society. Like, correct. That's incredible. I'm so boring just here in LA doing nothing close to that. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here and talk about.
Thank you for being here too. Well, we're new friends, actually.
Yes.
We just met recently. So because we'll talk about it at the end, but we know because you do a podcast with Marcy Giroux of 90 Day Bay. And I just did a live show with her and Nicole, and you were you were in there to moderating the comments and doing all, but so how do you know Marcy? Like, how did that work out?
Marcy and I are old friends now. We met same with like Nicole, through the Upright Citizens Brigade, UCB Theater, doing comedy, improv and sketch. And then Marcy and I started our own, what was at the time a Kardashians focused podcast.
Oh.
It was just Kardashians, called Kardashian It, and it was a recap podcast. And then we completely burnt out on Kardashians once everybody became billionaires, and it felt like we were supporting like the evil state.
Yes.
And so we broadened it out in the pandemic to a more just like a pop culture, largely Bravo podcast called L is for Losers. And so that is basically covering each week whatever the kind of like housewife franchises of the week are. Summer House, Southern Charm, and then sometimes dipping in and out of other shows. But we don't cover Love Island. And so this is like a huge joy for me.
You're obsessed with it. So I'm
obsessed. It is the only thing I'm like happening in my brain, especially I'm so excited to talk about this season because it has been, in my opinion, like such a slow burn. And now we're like cooking, I feel like. So
okay, speak to that. Because Jake and I, to give you a little history with us, Jake and I we used to be like, I mean, they paid us like $5 an episode. It was nothing. This is like 7 years ago. We were on an app called TV Co.
Okay.
And they were owned like by CBS or whatever. So they want us to do Love Island when Love Island was on CBS on network, when it was boring. And we were so excited. And then it came out and we're like, this is so boring. So we haven't covered it. And so we didn't cover last season. So this is our first season to jump in. So I want to ask you, like, so what do you think? What's this for people that are listening that have been what is the difference you feel like of this season?
I can't claim to be an OG. I only started watching, I dipped in a little bit when US started, but as it was the kind of weird rooftop Vegas season. And
that was terrible.
Weak. And I knew it was this like pop culture force in the UK, obviously, like it was so parodied and like such a kind of like so clearly this thing happening. But I didn't go full in until 2 seasons ago, I would say. Like the Leah Miguel.
When it jumped to Peacock.
When it jumped to Peacock, and Ariana was like, as a Bravo person, Ariana was like my way in. And that was in my opinion, kind of like the high bar season. Again, it was my first season really, really following it.
Mhm.
And it was just magical. Like that season, I felt like that's where we got Rob Roush. We got, a lot
Yeah.
of those like very quotable lines. And a lot of those faces, I feel like, became very zeitgeist and it broke through a bit. And then last season, I felt like was where, I mean, it feels like to me, each season over season has become bigger and bigger and bigger. Last year, I felt like was a bit kind of had like where some of the darkness came in the fandom, and
Mm.
there a lot of the racial conversations came about because at the end of the day, the show is just this like, to me, sociological experiment, even more so than
Yeah.
Bravo. It really is this like way more than Bravo shows. It's showing you like where the culture is, really, of course, where like young people are, how
Yeah.
like in largely heterosexual terms, like how men and women are looking at each other. So this one to me is a very interesting one. And like many people have pointed out, because a lot of them, majority of this season were high schoolers in the pandemic. And so
Oh my God.
isn't that bananas?
That made my stomach
I
turn.
saw a chart that was like 16, 15 years old. Like it was like where they all were at like 2020 and 2021. So these are mostly the pandemic teens as like young adults. And so
Yeah.
I think, I'm certainly not the first person to have this take, but that this one was very interesting to me because they were so like graphically physical so fast in this
So
way.
that's not normal to the show.
Not in my short history. Like, yes, the
Okay.
challenges, they get very like physical. There's making out for sure, but the like level of like the amount of tongue, the amount of like grabbing of body parts, like to me was very jarring very quickly. And so a lot of the theories were kind of like they like it's all a bit pandemic related where they, because we know that generation like was very like
Oh.
kind of like locked up, that they don't date necessarily in the way that like even just traditional Gen Z even has, which is less than millennial. And so that they like really exposed themselves and were very like raw and unfiltered so quick. And then because of that, they really like overcorrected and all paired up really quickly and stuck way
Oh.
they're not really supposed to be partnered that intensely that early. They were all very reticent to explore in that early chunk that they're really meant to explore. And a lot of their feelings were like very intense very quickly. And so that was sort of like making the season for me just like not as fun, because the point is that so much ping ponging and like bombshells coming in and recoupling and bombshells and recoupling. And then we get to Casa and it's like, had a lot of intensity, both like sexually and emotionally, in a way that the show, like to me, in my window, the Peacock years, like was not as pronounced and definitely debatable. But so that's why to me now we're kind of in the part where like it feels a bit more normal, like the level of intensity. This is where it is supposed to be like movie night is historically this, but it just had like a kind of like it was just slower to get there for me, where the fun was like this crazy physical spike at the beginning, then like a lot of kind of like sad intensity and less fun. But I think once we got like the internet started latching onto like Corbin GPT and clam slams from Kenzie and a lot of the like isms around the show is where I feel like then it finds its groove. How like Gall's siblings created like an Instagram account. Have you seen this?
No.
So it's so funny. Gall, who came in with Casa and is still on, obviously, he has 5 siblings. He's one of 5. They made an Instagram account like trolling him every episode. So you're gonna die. I'll send it to you. It's so funny, especially because this last week he was like super weird with Jen and like kind of gaslit her in that conversation. And so they put up like they absolutely like roasted him And then even like, this is what I mean. We're like, where the internet is sort of like, we're all chattering about it in this like
You see
safe.
what his coffee house did
Yes,
too?
that they gave free drinks to girls named Jen because it's all the women working there apologizing. Like, that's when the show is like really firing to me, where we're in this sort of like conversation and the memes and like everybody's walking around being like Melanie, haha, and like doing the chorus.
Yeah.
Like, so that's it. So that's my like sort of take on this season, is that now we're like having what is the best thing, where it's like it's intense, you're rooting for certain couples, there's clear villains, but we're having fun. It's not that serious in like the grander terms, you know?
Yeah.
Where are you at with it?
No, that's fascinating to hear. I've never heard the whole idea about them being, pandemic kids. That makes so much sense to me. And also, too, I think more than before, because everything was online in the pandemic and parents and rule. Like, I remember all my friends with kids of any age were like, they like, after 2 months when COVID locked down, they're like, all of our screen time rules went out the window. They're like, I can't, like, what else are they gonna fucking do? So I feel like life for that generation, life, the blurriness, the line between real life and social media really, when that line went away, and a
Yeah.
lot of look at that. And so I feel like, as you say that, I definitely think that, again, too, because the show is so big now, but there is this, the first season's always great because people don't know what they've signed up for and they don't know how big it's going to hit. It's like any show. And
Yeah.
so I think this season, a lot of the guys are, which is probably happening in culture now. Like, I'm not trying to give straight men a pass or anything like that. As my friend, I love this singer named Duran Bernard. He just had a meme that said, he's like, we love the heterosexuals, but the straights can go away. And I was like, good distinction.
Certainly straight men, and this show makes the
Yes,
case.
that's what he means. The heterosexual men we like. Straight men, go away. But I think these guys were at the beginning so in their head of not being perceived as a player or a bad guy. And
Yeah.
they were so thinking, what's everyone going to talk about me? And it makes sense why that is more heightened, because Corbin's a fucking pretty buff guy. Like, his life probably is on Instagram, sincere. Like, those are their world. And
Yeah.
then now, thank God, like, thank God Casa kind of blew it up, and like they
Oh,
all became like those horny wolves on Looney Tunes cartoons, like where
yeah.
their tongue just rolls out in their eyes and they're going, oh, like,
Ah,
thank God Casey did
yes.
that. So we finally could see Casey.
Yes.
So,
Agreed.
yeah, I'm really yes anding kind of what you're saying. And I think that pandemic piece is a huge, huge component I never thought of.
Yeah, it's like, imagine, we know that like Gen Z is like, when I think of my 18-year-old niece who just graduated high school, like these are people who like it's like house parties and hooking up and like, that's just not, and even like drinking and drugs, it's just not a part of their generation as much. And it is, just to your point, like, yeah, it's a really life experience through a screen. So that's why it made sense to me. Like, they get on this show and they're sort of like, we're supposed to suck face really hard and make out with everybody really to it. And you're kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then they're like, actually, no, you're my boyfriend. Actually, you're my boyfriend now. And I'm obsessed with you. And you shouldn't talk to anybody. And it was just like kind of this pendulum swing that is not really recognizable. And it is, I think, because they are kind of like blind leading the blind through what they
Yeah.
think male-female relationships are kind of supposed to look like, but they don't actually know firsthand,
They don't know.
versus like what, 5 years ago, a bunch of 24-year-olds would be walking in mirroring what they're up to out in their lives,
Yeah.
like, and I think you're 100% right, where like those men are terrified of looking like bad guys. It's the number one thing on their mind. And so they're moving so insincerely and
Yeah.
inauthentically because they have no idea what a good guy is or isn't, you know? They're just like, don't want a woman mad at them. But now like to your point, everything's sort of out now, and we'll
Yeah, everything's out.
of movie night, and we are just like, okay, now we know who kind of everybody actually
yes
is authentically.
The thing I don't like about this show is one thing I do like is that I am not jealous of being young anymore. This show has taken that away from me. I'm like, oh God, I'm so glad I'm not in this stage of my life anymore. But it also reminds me that, Jess, you don't know this. You're new to Reality Gays, but as Poodle says, something's wrong with my picker. And I was so in love with Sincere, like the first 3 or 4 episodes. I was so in it.
I mean,
oh God,
this is what is so intense about. I will in the Bravo world, I was crushing on West Wilson at the start of the summer season. I was like, I had a dream where I made out with West Wilson at the beginning of the Summer House season, and then I had to live with that shame. I'm one of these bitches. Oh my God. So
I know.
you're human, and there are people that like Sincere, you still find yourself being like, can he be that bad? Can it be?
Yeah.
We saw all of it. And then, I mean, in this week's episode, it's like, that was one of the more chilling moments I've seen ever on reality TV, of feeling like everybody realizing this might be a bad person.
Including the men.
Yeah.
Including the men. We're recording this, by the way, on the day it comes out on Thursday. So we have not seen movie night 2, although we were just 6:01, I'm on Peacock.
I cannot even think straight. When they said, when it was made into, because I kept checking the time as I was watching Tuesday nights, being like, well, we haven't gotten to Corbin's package. I see how much time is left. I was like, it can't possibly be broken up into 2. Can't possibly make me wait till Thursday.
They can. But I also, with the coupling up, and we'll talk about it, but man, Ronnie, why? That guy was so hot and seemed so nice. And these women, why would you couple up with some of these guys when there's Ronnie, and I really like Che, that guy.
Yes, I know.
So I can't remember any of the girls because I'm a gay man. But
girls, I mean, it's, have you heard this argument? I can't take credit. It's a TikToker, but she really shows she's trying to make this case. This is what I kind of secretly love, is people on TikTok making these deep sociological analysis.
Well, I think it's there. Yeah.
And she's sort of making the case that Casa showed in this season, really specifically, how the Casa ends up becoming a symbol of a patriarchal society. And then the villa with the boys coming in is an example of a matriarchal society. Because showing in the women with the men, these men are there to show their kindness and their goodness and their service to the women, and cooking them breakfast and getting to know them and having conversations, and that there's this equality sort of across it, versus in Casa with the Casa girls, it's purely supplicant, looking up to the men, sexually them, showing I'll do anything for you, I'm obsessed with you, and it's the deferential is so high. And I thought that with the Villa boys the boys that they brought in for the girls, it was the best season yet. Those were really hot guys, which typically I don't think that they're as cute. I thought they were good guys. They seemed really correctly mapped against the girls. They did a good job. And other than Carl, I guess it's they were just rejected. Oh, and it was for these absolutely trash Villa guys. And I'm they were so great.
We had that with Soul too. Soul was great.
Soul was great. And now at least justice for Soul, I feel is what the end of movie really showed, which
really
I'm
fucking
very happy for her, because I felt we knew that, but that everybody can kind of see in the house. This woman had every reason to believe he was going to choose her.
Oh, Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Again, like we're gonna talk about, but I want to mention some things that kind of popped out to me
Yes.
going back to episode 20. Like now to refresh your memory, this is the mailbox moment where they get the postcard with, I mean, it's producer level mind. I'm like, this is insidiously smart that you're just showing them pictures of them making out with people. They don't know the context. They don't know anything. And I think what surprises me, I did not expect that this moment is like where we see, I feel like this beginning of Kata is unraveling.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
she is like immediately sobbing. And I think this ties into then like her arc with Zach. I mean, if we want to kind of just talk about, and we can talk about it in not just episode 20, but in all this week, like the arc of Kata and Zach, because we know he ends up choosing her and all that. But
Yeah.
it's this idea like, what do you think about just kind of the shift and change in them in this last week?
Well, I think again, not to like tie everything back to the central thesis, but like there's an argument to be made that like, to the pandemic teen of it all, like I have to keep reminding myself they had sex. And like that
I
is
forgot.
they might be, we don't know. Some of the other couples might have, but certainly we know Kenzie has been French fried and DJ'd all over the place.
Kenzie.
But
Kenzie.
but we know that Kata and Zach had sex in the hideaway. And like I think
I forgot about that.
I think that's what we're seeing is like that probably, I mean, it's enormous to many people, but very likely if we follow the same idea of like these very sheltered pandemic kids, like it's not just that she had sex, it's that like she knows everyone knows they had sex, her family knows, the world knows, the whole world knows that they had sex. And even though she treats it very like fun and cool afterwards, I'm imagining like that's how I'm imagining her read on like on what she's learning, and insecurity growing and then being kind of like confirmed by the photo and then what is then is putting together in movie night, that she has this different weight to it because she's like, everyone knows I had sex with you early. That was early for the hideaway when they sent
I
think like the producers did a lot to like shake it up because I do think that they felt that this was like locked in too early. And so I think like they moved the hideaway up. That move to play the beginning of Casa live for the girls. All new, the postcards, all new. Like, I think they really were trying to figure out ways to like activate the women, especially, and shake them up so that they were like moving so much differently and more like aggressively with the boys that they brought in, which debatable, but at least like shake them earlier because so that's to me, like, I think Kata is sort of having like I think she really does care about Zach. I think that she like, really wants to be with Zach. But I also think Zach is like a little slippery, Like
I was going to ask, do you think Zach wants to be with her?
I think he does. I think he does, but I think Zach is like a little slippery in general. Like, I don't think he's like looking for anyone else, but I think he's a little bit of like a subversive shit stirrer. I think he's sort of like
he is.
He brings up insecurity with people in a very like subtle way and aligns with people kind of quietly and like even with the hideaway, it was not super clear if he wanted to have sex with her. Like she was very excited and he seemed to be sort of like,
that's really true. Yeah.
People were speculating like, I'm like, this show is so gnarly on these people. People were like, does he have ED? Like, is he?
Oh my gosh.
Is he afraid? People were so convinced. And I'm like, he wasn't as enthusiastic as her was, I think, a lot of the read. So I think that he's just not as easy of a check mark. Like, let's say compared to Bryce, like Bryce, you're like, this guy is all about this girl. No question.
Yeah.
At every turn has moved so linear, clear.
Well, even in the postcard, he was the one, he wasn't making out with anyone. He was talking to a girl, but that's all that they saw from the picture.
So it's like, I think on the spectrum, you have like Bryce, and then of course at the like evil end is your Sincere and Corbin and Casey. But I think Zach is like by no means the middle, but it's harder to feel his like clear dedication to Kata. It's just has like, because he in general is a little bit like slippery, I think.
Well, and to your credit, producers, y'all, you have to remember that like this Love is Blind. They don't care if people find true love. They just want a good show. They just want a good show. And it's, this idea of, Alana, we're not going to talk about her a lot because she's a pretty garbage human being. And you can Google why she was kicked off the show and for what she said, but goodbye. But she was removed, and they literally just this episode, on episode 20, he was like, Alana's left, it's gone. But they weirdly, and I thought this was I thought, okay, so they're not going to address her being gone anymore. She's gone, totally gone. But then when they circle back to movie night and we see, they're like, well, we have to show clips because that's the only person he talked to. But then that's where Kata finds out that she was kicked out. I don't know if she found out why that she was kicked out. But the fact that becomes new information to her, I felt a little bit, when I was watching Kata and Zach on movie night, I thought, okay, Kata, you are kind of overreacting a little bit. But then I thought, but maybe you don't know why Alana was kicked out. Like because she was saying, racist shit online and they removed her immediately. But because she kept saying like, well, what if she was still here, would Zach have chosen her? I don't think he would, but what do you think?
He would have. And I think he, even with Alana, I didn't feel him like drawn more to her than Kata.
Yeah.
But to validate Kata, who I love, and I think
I love Kata too. Yeah.
I think she's always right. I think her larger point stands, which is like, it's weird to not have told me. It's weird. It's a weird.
Oh, yes, that is weird. That is weird.
Point was like, everyone was like, he wouldn't have, and he chose you, and he's yelling, and she's like, okay. But that's what I mean by slippery. Like, it feels then like lying by omission, even if it's not. It then on paper looks like you lied by omission. Like, if the tables were turned, he would have felt the same. If I already blanked on her dude's name, who we loved. You just said his name.
Whose dude?
Kata, the guy.
Che.
Like, if Che had been removed from the villa and she never mentioned it, and he saw a video of the two of them, he would have also been like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, Jack would have in reverse found it shady. So it just looks shady. And that's the thing about Zach. That's what I mean by like, there's an easy way to get ahead of that, to not have, when we realize, because we don't know what they've been told or not told. So when we realize she didn't know that there was a girl, they were paired up essentially, and she wasn't at the coupling, I'm right there with her being like, okay, but like now that just sows doubt into my mind. Cause why would you leave it out? It's such an easy thing to have been like, I was talking like you had a person who you were thinking you were slightly connecting with, but then she left, but it wouldn't have mattered because I knew the whole time. To not get ahead of that is just like weird and stupid.
It's really weird and dumb. Yeah. It's very weird.
So I'm with her on that. And like, where it just like, I would feel, it wouldn't make me want to not be with Zach, I think, but it would again sort of point to like a weirdness that he has that she doesn't.
Yeah. That's well said. Well said. You're dropping some, I feel like I'm in women's studies, Jess. I fucking love this with you.
I'm my greatest compliment. Thank you.
So kind of blurring into, and we'll talk more about couples, but blurring into kind of episode 21 where the coupling is beginning. I will say side note, Ariana walking into this red dress, her style this season is unbelievable. Like there's been no misses for me yet.
No misses.
None.
It's also so fun because it's like largely unexpected. Like every look is very unexpected, and that she can move from like mermaidy goddess in like shells to like bondage leather, like
Yes.
leather, and like it, like that is a breadth of like pulling off looks that almost nobody could. It's crazy.
Yes, it's
She's so
crazy.
hot.
She looks so hot, so hot. So, well, let's talk a little bit, and this will get us into a couple. We'll talk a little bit about the Casa Amor returns in episode 21, and we get a little bit of the coupling. Go through Jen. That's where we talked about stays with Gal. I'm just kind of bored by both of them, and maybe because we don't know Jen well enough. I don't know. She's just, I don't dislike her. I'm just kind of like, okay.
Well, to be honest, again, to the slow burn of it all, Jen, has been really forgettable to me. And then in the last episode, her reaction to Kenzie and her conversation with Kenzie actually was the first moment I was like, oh, you're bolder and more interesting, when she's like, I wouldn't be.
That was interesting. Yeah.
I thought that was really cool that she like called Kenzie out. By the way, everybody, and I think Kenzie's gonna eat shit at the second half of movie night, but I want to shout out Kenzie because I think she is moving in such a perfect for TV way. I wouldn't want to be in the villa with her.
She's a star. She's a reality star.
She is doing what the other women refuse to do. She is keeping it, like, the show is moving at the speed it is, I think, on the women's side because of Kenzie. So I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with her clam slams. She's perfect TV. But I agreed with Jen, and I loved Jen. That was the first time I was like, oh, you're interesting, in the way that she was like very clear and honest with Kenzie about like, to be like, I basically think you have like an attention disorder, and also I wouldn't be your friend. But in general, I think Jen is a bit boring. I think what's most interesting, it's always really interesting when someone who is like not just a 10, but like an 11 in the real world in their life, like, comes in and is like not getting that attention. I like that part of the experiment is where she's like, this is weird. Like, I'm the hottest person I know. Why isn't this working out for me? But that's why the show is so great, because there's like this egalitarian piece to it that's like, everyone's hot. It's not just about hot.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of hoping Corbin would get a little humble in that.
Yeah.
Because I thought the guys that came in were way hotter than Corbin. And a lot of them were way taller than Corbin, which is a thing for guys. Like, they none of them can compete with Carl and his height, It's like a thing. And also, I do feel like, and I think Corbin's a dog, don't get me wrong. But it's interesting that, like, Kenzie and Corbin have had both a little bit of the same gameplay, where they tell someone something that I'm so into you, but then they're completely saying very similar things to someone else and keeping all the options, which I agree with you. That's what you should do on this show. Now, I think Corbin does it in that kind of insidious way that gaslights women.
Yes.
Which is gross.
Yeah.
Where Kenzie is I think Kenzie she just lives every day in the fucking moment. Like, that's all she can do, which makes a beautiful reality star.
So that's like, people are like, well, which is it? Does she want a cowboy or did she want a surfer? And I'm like, she wanted both in that moment. That was what she thought.
She wanted both. And she just wants a little, and then she wants, and we'll talk, she couples up with Dylan, but later it bites her ass because she just wants those surfer babies. And I'm like, you're a dumb bitch. Dylan is so hot. He is so hot. And Dylan, to me, is so much more charismatic. I mean, he's fucking crying over her when he found out that she was kissing someone else, which, again, I wanted to be like, bro, you're on Love Island.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know how long we are for Kenzie and Dylan. I don't think
she really likes. This is an interesting thing about the show, is that, like, and someone else pointed this out, but there is a bit of an epidemic of, like, when you hear and Kenzie is sort of the queen of this, which is like, when they're like, well, how are you feeling about our connection? That you can hear when, like, Kenzie will often go, I love the way you make me feel. I love the way you talk to me, which is so different than, like, I'm into you. I like you.
That's true.
You are great to me because of XYZ. It's like the definition of like, I like being liked. I like people who like me. And that I think Dylan, I think she's like, oh, you like me the most. Okay. I think I then have to go for you versus like.
That is exactly how she operates. Yeah.
It's not about like, I think she wants Gall more. Like, I think there's better chemistry and I think they like I think she wants who she wants to fuck. I don't think she's looking for a boyfriend. I don't think boyfriend. And I think, and then in that regard, she wants Gall then because she and Gall want to fuck the most.
Because if Corbin hadn't gone to Casa Amor,
yes,
she would have fucked Corbin. She was already on track to fuck Corbin. They were already like,
and she moves more like a dude, you know?
Yeah, she moves like a dude, and it's I think that we're going to kind of see a movie night. I think that's going to come back to bite her with some of the women because I think Jen is getting some of the other women kind of fired up about her, and that's not the case. We get a little bit of, we don't need to talk about them that much. Because we barely show them. I like Jaden, but Caleb chooses Jaden. I mean, they're both fine in real life, but they're kind of boring television. It's just
agree.
like,
I think they're hard to sink your teeth into. I think everybody, it's like, especially Caleb, I think everybody likes, you know, but I think he's had a lot of time on the show at this point to make an impression.
And he hasn't.
I think it's like there's that thing that happens on this show, these kinds of shows where you're like, oh, they got a raw deal and, you know, like they deserve another chance. And then they do, and they keep them around and you're kind of like, all right, show up and like give me something. So yeah, to me, they're the most forgettable couple by a mile.
Yeah, I think so. To me, the most nauseating couple, and they both love each other because as they said, oh my God, we're exactly alike. Corbin and Parmita. Oh God. I mean, she is stunning. Don't get me wrong. She's a fucking knockout. Gorgeous. When she was like, I'm the Persian cat and all that shit. But that conversation, I think this happened the last episode, but like Corbin literally, I mean, it's kind of shocking to me that the guy doesn't have to have any chill or any humbleness at all. I'm a little impressed with him being like, I mean, you're hot and I'm hot. So like, we're hot together. And I'm just like, you're a fucking moron. Like
incredible. And it makes you wonder, like, I'm watching it being like, did I not know that like very attractive people at that level talk like that to each other? Or is it these two people? Like, I have so many questions. I'm like, are like people in Miami going up and being like, you're hot to me? Are we hot?
Yeah, we're both hot. Let's be hot together. Like, is that actually, you know, I thought it happened on a subconscious level, but never on a let's talk about it. Like it was very, they're insufferable, but they're going to be locked in.
I love that because she is like, I mean, they're both like historic levels of stupidity, which is makes which is like, I can't wait to have you in my car. And he's like, what are we talking about?
And and that's good why they're good reality TV, because they're both so self-involved they can't see how they come off.
No, so and being like the internet latching on again, that's to me when the internet started having fun with the show was when everybody labeled him Corbin GPT and like really mimicking his like cadence and that being like, okay, like this guy is a robot who powers down. There's that line early on where somebody revisited it recently where you're like, that is insane. At breakfast, he's like, man, I wish I could dream like you guys. Everybody breezed past it, but you're like, wait, that's crazy.
He is an Autobot.
So to me, I find them actually delightful. Like, I want them on my TV because I need to the sociological experiment. I need to know more about how people like that communicate. It is an alien race.
It is an alien race. That's a great, they're nauseating and riveting. So we already talked about this. We'll talk about Bryce and Trini a little bit later, but but I think let's talk about, to me, the big kind of two were, I was not surprised that Melanie wanted to stay with Sincere, and I wasn't surprised that Sincere walked in. Were you surprised by that at all? Okay, same.
No, I mean, no, that's not true. I was probably like 60-40, but I thought there was a good chance. I think had I see, like we know.
I knew she was going to choose him.
Yes,
I knew she was going to choose him.
I was not as sure of because of Soul and because of the way he was with Amora. I wasn't sure. I was a bit surprised.
And Amora seems super cool, although she's been on like 5 million reality shows, I've heard. Which, or no, is it, I forget if it was, it was at TT. TT has been on a bunch of reality shows.
Yeah.
I think I saw another thing about Amora, but it was speculation, so I don't want to say that. It was like legal stuff. I didn't know.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that's what I saw. Okay. There's all so much, you get everybody confused. And they all, but let's talk about look, especially here at Reality Gays, we want to support women. We want to champion women. And I say it with love. Anaya, you dumb bitch. I've been a dumb bitch. Don't get me wrong. I have been codependent. I am a bad picker. But to me, you can't watch that video of that man literally acting like a sissy in a dick tree. So excited for a new pussy. Like the most excited, like literally, and everything he said, like a night, that's the thing. Like she was surprised at movie night. And I was like, bitch, you already saw a lot of this before in the opening night thing. Why would you think a man why would you, even if he chose you, why would you choose that for yourself? That's the part that is so saddening to me about Anaya, because I love her.
And I felt like it was so hard to watch during Casa. Like, if all of the women are telling you, hey, leave him, forget him, he's bad. Like, it really is like, believe women.
Believe women. They all told you that.
And that means something. It means they're seeing something. And you are too. You've literally all seen something together. And to your point, it wasn't like they were on good terms when he left. All they had been doing before Casa was fighting. That early on. They were not on good terms. It was already falling apart before Casa. Then you get the live feed where he's absolutely disrespectful and a piece of shit. And then you choose him? Like, how many times can you be surprised when this man is showing himself? Like, yes, it's always crazy to see what people say behind your back, but there cannot, to your point, how are we surprised? And also yelling and yelling and yelling. I'm like, I am over it.
I am too, actually.
I want my girl to show disconnect and be like, yeah, that's who I thought you were. And congrats and good luck to you, TT.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes, because the true getting over someone is when it doesn't actually bring a deep emotional response from you.
Stomping over and yelling at him and making him sit down. It was weird. He stood up. I didn't like it either, but I'm like, it's because you're showing him getting to you over and over.
Over and over.
And if other girls want to yell, that's fine by me, but I want to see Anaya be like, yeah, I knew what I knew when you walked in here with TT. I know. Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
They already had their sit down. They've already said it. I just feel like we are on a hamster wheel and I am desperate to get off of it. I am so bored of Casey and Anaya.
I am too. And Carl deserves better.
I know. Well, that's the other thing is it's that thing where it's like being with someone who talks about their ex constantly. I know the show makes it that way, but I'm like, if I'm Carl, I got rejected by this woman on TV. It hurt. We brought him back for her. I'm watching my girl who I'm slowly trying to reconnect with, but have let know hey, that sucks. And I have a little bit of walls up, but I'm bringing you the pancakes with butterflies. I'm doing sweet stuff. And then I have to watch you scream at Casey again. I don't feel like you're actually really moving on to me, Carl, who's been back for you. It makes me feel crazy because Carl is an angel.
He's an angel. He truly is an angel, and then kind of bumping into the next episode when Megan Thee Stallion and everybody, that's when Carl and then Amora, right? Yeah, Carl and Amora jump out of the cake, and so they're coming back, which she was kind of saved by that. I think where let's just jump in and because they have a challenge. We don't talk about the challenges a lot here on this show because unless something really comes from it, it was I don't know. I get kind of like what you said with the Casey and Anaya and then like throwing cake. I'm like, we get it. Like, but even I'm kind of like, we get it. Throw the cake, throw the icing. Let's move on.
The only standout part, Trinity, I love, and I love. Somebody was like, Trinity stays on these men's necks, and I'm like, so I thought the iconic line was Trinity after Casey tries to get her with the cake. She's like, what was it? Still I rise, I guess.
Still, yes.
Still you rise, I guess. And I was like,
I love her too. Trinity and Bryce. Like, well, let's talk. I'm like getting emotional on this date. Like, I'm full on teary-eyed.
I cried when from their recoupling. I'm not kidding, Matt.
You have goosebumps.
I have goosebumps. When I don't know that I've had that level of like emotion when he at the recoupling runs towards the recoupling.
Yeah. Like he ran to the thing.
And he gets emotional. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know a true love story is happening now on this show. And then on the date, like, I was like, I think they're in love, that they skipped closing off. They skipped one of the main steps, which is to close off. Like, that is historically the big moment. And that he was like, no, that's my girlfriend. Like, that's my girlfriend now. And like, they are like beautiful and honest. And they like, it's a true movie. It's a movie love story.
I think also too, I misjudged him. I thought he was a dumb model fuckboy. That's who I thought he was. And then like, he really impressed me that like, again, like instead of being all sexual with the women, because granted, he's got he's like one of those people really hot in the real world. And then he gets on a show with all these guys that I imagine the fart smells so much like human growth hormone in the fucking boys' room. Like it's just so much creatine in there. And that is not Bryce. And so he's like, he was using humor and trying to make women laugh. And like, that's something most guys don't learn until they're older or unless they're that good looking,
True. Yeah.
So I just am so, again, if anything happens to them, I don't think there's any other couple that's in even a close of a race to win this thing.
No, I think they're the winners and I think everyone would be so happy. And I think they're a good example. Like, to your point, like I thought they paired up way too early. I was like, I wanted to see them. I thought explore more. I was like, not totally like convinced like you. I was like, this guy is like considerably older. He's an LA model. Like, I just was like, guy has got to be bad news. Like, he also came in, they did an interesting thing with maybe you've talked about, but this season they bring in people who are kind of influencers, who have.
We didn't know that.
They are typically like, have some kind of following, not massive, but like certainly have followings of some kind. And this season they didn't. And like a lot of them had like 3,000 or 4,000, what on the scale of influencers is quite small. Bryce came in massively because he had this like Tumblr era thing. He came in with like over 100,000, which comparatively followers a lot more, right? So I was sort of like, this is an influencer who's 29, who's like doing a different thing. And I just had like, my eyes were narrowed to him because I was like, oh, they needed to bring in someone who's kind of more representative of like that world. I am so wrong, so humbled. This man is the sweetest, kindest. I believe it. It's real.
I also forget, you reminded me, I forget he's 29 because he looks young.
He does.
I think he's 25 like the rest of them. And that is, I think we see such a huge difference.
Totally. And I think that really, yeah, he knows what he wants. And I think he is so much less, he's just secure. He seems like a very secure person in a way that like, I didn't feel at the beginning. I felt like they were painting him as like really insecure, you know, like,
Yeah.
I know, right? Isn't it lame? That's my job. I fix garbage trucks or whatever it is. And he was like, very insecure sounding. And I'm like, oh, like what a great case for like why it's great to keep people on the show. Because his arc has been so unexpected. And now I think the gap from him to the next man is just so far.
I think the only person who could possibly would maybe be Carl, which says something that he's so new and so much better than all these other trash men.
These men are just in the fucking pits of hell.
Well, let's talk about movie night. We're there. Let's talk about movie night. Again, like, well, I'm not going to ask because you bring up somebody even before I ask. I love that. What kind of your overall thoughts with movie night as someone who's seen one movie night before?
Cinematic, you know, like this one really, you know, normally I think it's like a clip or two. I don't know. I could be wrong, but in my memory, movie night is like not, these were long packages, which clearly they knew because they were going to split it. So it made it, the impact is a lot more brutal. And so to me, I think like, look, it's why the show is diabolical is that I think everybody had kind of like been like, okay, we're like, we've tidied up our messes from recoupling. Mm-hmm. Everyone was feeling good. And that's why movie night is what it is, because it kicks up all the dirt again in such a crazy way. I will say, I did not expect, like, I think the way it was edited, like to see KC's and be like, oof, that's a bad look. Like it was really bad. I said at the beginning, like, I've never seen what Sincere's package did. Like that.
Well, because KC, and it goes back to, I love you, Anaya, but how naive can we be? We didn't learn any real new information with KC. We already saw it. Totally. We already saw it. We already knew it. We already heard it.
Yeah.
But with Sincere, I'm so fucking glad that they showed the video of him calling Soul beloved.
Love it.
Let's not forget that. Walking around like fucking Toni fucking Morrison over there, calling her beloved. like, as Poodle said, as a Jan Van Zandt, like would say, like the people, beloved. And like, nefarious is the only word I can think of. And so I wonder, so that was, to me, I thought, okay, is this what movie night is?
Yeah.
But the reaction from Mel that you see, she's not even angry. You see her kind of gaze almost turn within herself, and just that kind of beautiful one tear just going down her fucking, it's cinematic. You're right. That's the word for it.
She just like crumples, and it's like,
it's heartbreaking.
I really think they like this was a heighten I've never seen, where that was so shockingly edited, where, you know, when we see him kiss Soul, tell Melanie he doesn't want to explore her anymore, then goes back and kisses her again same day. I mean, the men themselves, the men were like, oh God, oh
yeah, they were like saying, oh fuck,
oh ooh, like when you've got Corbin and KC like face in hands like that. So that's what I mean by like, I think there was this sort of almost like feeling, like a thing I've never seen happen, where everybody on that stage was like, is this like a really evil person? Not just like, oh, he's a fuck boy, he's a piece of shit, he's an asshole, like the KC realm, right? It was like, is this like a sociopath? Like, I feel like that's what was happening. And that's why Melanie's reaction is like, not even, you know, I think we'll see her yell at him eventually, because we know there's more to come. We haven't even shown the line yet that we saw from the Casa recoupling, where he went up to Amora and said, if we'd had more time, you would have been the one. Melanie hasn't even seen that yet.
She hasn't seen that yet.
So like, this man has been exposed, and it's crazy because we did know a lot of that, but I really think it's why movie night is imperative as a function on the show. When you see it edited together, not just for Melanie, but for us to be like, oh, this is like a disgusting person. This isn't
For
some
us, yes, because sometimes we forget with all the little things, we forget what happened or how things,
and
the
you
domino effect of some of these
and you
things.
want to believe that these are just like young people fucking around. We don't want to believe that these are like ultimately bad people, but I think in this case they're kind of in this season
Yeah.
showing us like, hey, not just Melanie, you guys, like your guy that you all love so much, like he's a real piece of shit.
He's a
Like,
piece of shit. I'll be interested to see how, like, guys like Bryce
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Carl and even Zach to a point kind of feel about this because,
Same.
I mean, it's not good when shout out to TT and Amora in that, like, you could tell Amora was kind of watching this going, wait a minute. Who am I who am I getting in bed with?
And
What the fuck?
is why the show is profound because
It is. It really
that
is.
is a lived experience so many people, I can speak at least for women, I have had, where someone cheats on you or is up to something that
Yeah, I've had that.
you're
And they
like,
gaslight you and make you feel like you're crazy
and
for
somebody
even thinking that.
that you would have put $1 million bet was incapable of something
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is not only capable, but it's worse than you could have ever imagined. And that is like the paranoia that people who've experienced it are walking around with. And that's why the show is so beautiful because it's showing that we have that for a reason. And yet life is about getting out there and still being vulnerable and trying to find love,
Mhm.
hooking up and believing people aren't going to do that. And this like scale of reality of believing people are or aren't capable of that is what we're all walking around with and trying to not become like jaded pieces of shit around and treat people shit
Mhm.
because of it. But the show, so the idea that that man is there sitting, I don't remember who he's sitting next to, but within inches of Bryce, who I think we
Yeah.
see as like, or a Carl, these like good men, and you're like, how do we know which is
How
which?
do we know which is which?
Are
I
we?
mean, one thing that stood out for me too is that we have TT now stepping up basically and calling out KC gaslighting Anaya
I know.
right there in real time and being like, this is not, you're going, she is right. Like, it's the way you went about this that was not cool. And that to me, I was like, okay, girl, okay, I see you. I
I
see you.
The show historically, what I didn't understand about the
Because
show.
TT said to Amora too, she's like, sincere is the most toxic one here.
Yes, yes, yes. The
So,
women
like, they're seeing, yeah.
the show becomes about the female friendships, like
Yeah.
that's what
Mhm.
the show becomes, and I didn't know that. And like the way that like, yeah, what is it? Kate is like, they're like, you were yelling at, you came at TT, you came at KC in the recoupling, and Kate is like, and I do it again. Like that they
Yeah.
are so all about each other as the women and support in this way that like I didn't understand that the show kind of eventually becomes that. Like, yes, you're focused
Yeah.
on couples, but the women become this like locked in unit generally. And
Yeah. Megan the Stallion was telling them, she was like, locking on that. That's what's going to remain.
it's what the viewers want. We want to watch these women. We want to watch Trinity talk shit. We want to watch these women defend each other and stick up for each other. And so when TT does that, you're like, and it just makes you like, you don't want to hate TT,
No, you don't want to.
You
You
want to
don't
get
want,
her away
yeah.
from KC, but you mostly just want to like have her feel cool with the girls because she is strong and cool and beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. It's, they're, yeah, it was wonderful. I cannot wait for part two. Oh yeah, Jen and Gal broke up. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
That happened too. No one cares about that. No one fucking cares about that. I so love this conversation with you. You kind of blew open some things for
Oh,
me.
I'm so pleased. Thank you.
So
I love it too.
I know other people are going to love it. But okay, before I let you go, though, we play a game here on Reality Gays only when we have them, and I think this week we do. So normally we always love to quote our star Kenzie and her memorable quotes. And so we couldn't do another week's episode without doing another edition. Is it Kenzie or Copernicus? Yes. The philosopher, scientist who discovered, I believe, that the sun was the center of the universe.
I was going to say, I might need a refresher.
Well, or maybe you don't, because the whole point is we want to we want to we want to remind you. We don't want to remind you too much, because what this game is, I'm going to read some quotes, and you're going to have to guess: is it Kenzie or Copernicus? Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. I'm going to read both of these quotes in the same voice as to not throw you off. Okay. So this might get hard, Jessica.
Okay.
Might get hard. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'll start out maybe with an easy one. Okay. Finally, we shall place the sun himself at the center of the universe. Kenzie or Copernicus?
I'm going to go Copernicus.
You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct. Okay. Got it. Okay. Here's another. This one? It's hard.
Okay.
No turtle tongue. Kenzie or Copernicus?
Kenzie.
Okay. You're 2 for 2. You're 2 for 2.
She really identified something real in kissing. I was like, oh, that's what it is. Yes.
That's what it is. That's what it. Okay. All right. Here's another one.
Okay.
I don't know. This one's hard. I don't like sushi. It freaks me out. Kenzie or Copernicus?
Tough. I'm going to do Kenzie.
Okay. Let's see. Are you correct?
Yeah.
You are correct. Okay. You're doing great. You're great. Okay. I don't know. This one's hard. Among the authorities, it is generally agreed that the Earth is at rest in the middle of the universe. Kenzie or Copernicus?
I think I got to give it to my guy, Copernicus.
Oh, you are nailing this one. I mean, okay. Two more.
Okay.
To know that we know what we know, and to know that we do not know what we do not know, that is true knowledge.
It's my brain could hear her and Corbin GPT having this. I think it's Copernicus.
You were correct. It is Copernicus. Okay. Last one.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if you're going to know this.
Okay.
Godspeed.
Okay.
I was splits on the dick, splits on his head, and backbends. I even sucked a man's foot. I will do anything to fucking win. Kenzie or Copernicus?
The voice saying it. It's gonna be my girl, Clam Slam. It's
Clam Slam for the win. That is the first time in Kenzie or Copernicus, any Kenzie game, where you got every correct answer.
I'm so happy. I want to be girl proud.
Proud.
Oh,
Jessica, thank you so much. Ellis for Losers is a podcast. Tell everyone where they can find you and get obsessed with you like we are now.
Oh my God, this is the most fun. We are on Patreon, patreon.com, Ellis for Losers, at Ellis for Losers, on Instagram and socials. Come listen every week and have a laugh.
Are you on Instagram as well?
Yes, at Ellis for Losers. And you can find me at JJJLA. That's me.
At JJJLA.
I'm up to.
That's wonderful. All right, everybody. That's it. Thank you so much for listening for this week. Poodle will, technically, Jake is supposed to be back next week, but y'all know how Poodle rolls. He might be again, he's probably going to still be getting gangbanged in the Parthenon. So good luck. We'll see if we see him. If not, we'll see you next week. Jessica, thank you again. And for the rest of you, we Villa see you later. It's still bad. It's still not a good out, but yeah, it's fine.